Hello, my name is Klint Macro. I'm a professional firearm defense and safety educator, as well as a pro-liberty advocate. I'm the founder of the Trigger Presses Union, co-founder and administrator of National Train a Teacher Day, the president of the Allegheny County Sportsman's League, and vice president of Firearms Owners Against Crime, Institute for Legal, Legislative, and Educational Action. We're Pennsylvania's preeminent pro-gun and anti-crime organization. I'm talking to you today not about a Pennsylvania issue, but about something that's going on in Massachusetts, House Docket 4420, and offer my support to GOAL, Gun Owners Action League, and the law-abiding gun-owning citizens of Massachusetts. Massachusetts HD 4420 is 142 pages of tyranny. This legislation is a form of discrimination against a very specific cross-section of the population of Massachusetts. That is the legal gun owners. If this legislation is passed into law, millions of law-abiding gun owners in Massachusetts will become criminals at the stroke of a pen. I would like to talk about just a few of the governmental overreaches and the myriad of definition changes and restrictions that this legislation places upon the citizens of Massachusetts. The definition of a firearm will be changed, and in statutory law, parts will be referred to as firearms, such as barrels, receivers, and frames. All firearms, including barrels, receivers, frames, and feeding devices, will have to be registered and serialized. This serialization has to be done by a government agency. Interestingly enough, subsection E of this legislation implies that these restrictions even apply to people who are non-citizens, therefore violating the federal transportation laws. If you build or modify any of your firearms, you're going to have to submit an itemized list of parts to the government. There is a mandatory ban of firearms, receivers, frames, barrels, ammunition, feeding devices, and ammunition components in all prohibited areas. As it reads, prohibited areas are everywhere in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, unless it's on private property where the owner has given explicit permission to have those items on their property, or they've posted a sign. If the owner hasn't done that proactively, then it is assumed that that private property is a prohibited area. At least that's how I read the legislation. In that situation where the property owner has deemed it to be okay to carry or possess such items, the individuals possessing them still must be licensed. There is a law enforcement exception in this legislation, but it only applies to law enforcement when they are actually on duty. This legislation is the test case to see how far the anti-constitutional forces in our country can go to strip the liberties and the rights of the individual law-abiding citizens of our country. Ironically, this legislation only affects the law-abiding citizens, and it empowers the criminals that we arm ourselves to protect ourselves against. It also takes away our ability to deter the tyrannical forces within the government, and they know this. Now, why should folks that live outside of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts give a damn about what's going on there with this legislation? Don't be fooled. There are many in the elected class right now in Pennsylvania watching from a distance like we are, salivating at the opportunity to pass a similar law here in our Commonwealth and in every state in the Union. Support organizations like Gun Owners Action League, who are fighting to defeat bills like House Docket 4420. We, the people, have the ultimate power in this constitutional republic. An armed and educated citizenry is the true check and balance in our constitutional republic and the ultimate homeland security. Stay armed and be well regulated. Thank you.